Hello guys and welcome. In today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at this watch. This is a Mafam and the model of the watch is called X11. So we're going to unbox it first and then I'm going to talk about this watch in greater detail later on. So as most of you are probably aware, the 11th of 11th coming very soon. So 11th of November is the huge sale date in China and around the world. So AliExpress will be giving away lots of coupons and discounts, and Mafam, which is this particular brand, is not an exclusion, so they're going to be reducing their prices as well. Currently you can buy this watch for around about 35 to 40 US dollars, and there is a good reason for that. I'm going to be talking about that later on, but with the sales coming you can get it cheaper as well, especially if you got the coupons and all those things. So let's begin the unboxing. The watch comes in a box like that, just a plain white box. We all got used to these boxes by now. Obviously that's the watch itself. You also get, in my case, I've got two straps. One is a silicone and it's a very soft touch strap. The other strap is looks more like a leather. You've got a manual. Manual comes in several languages. You've got English, Chinese, Dutch, Russian, French, I believe it's a Japanese, Portuguese and Spanish as well. This watch supports quite a few languages as well. You can find out more about the languages from the link that I'm going to leave underneath this video. And you also get a charging cable. Make sure to pay attention that this charging cable actually has 4 pins, and for those of you who are familiar with these charging cables will know that 4 pins means you can transfer data across to your watch, and we're going to be talking about that in a minute. So when I first unpacked this watch, the first thing that struck me, I had a bit of a deja vu moment. The bezel itself and the design of the watch looks very much like the watch I've reviewed a very long time ago, and they were called DT78. Very similar design. You've got a metal bezel. The whole actually body of the watch is metal. And at the back of the watch you've got a plastic cover with your magnetic dock where you're going to charge your watch. Everything is made out of really good materials. Everything looks really good. No sharp corners, nothing. So the production line is really doing their job great. So now let's talk about the figures of this watch first of all. So you've got 1.3 inches display, fully round display, fully touch display as well, so no dark untouchable areas whatsoever. The resolution is 240 by 240 and we also got used to that resolution by now. It's decent enough for the size of this display. Inside you'll find a battery which is 260 milliamp battery, and with a moderate use you should see this battery last around about sort of 4 to 5 working days. Obviously if you're going to be using this watch a bit more regularly, then probably expect for sort of 2 to 3 working days, but that's still good. So you're not going to be sort of reaching for that charger every single day. The biggest surprise to me was that inside of this watch you actually will find a separate memory, and that can be used to transfer your music, which I've done already and I'm going to show you in a second. So this watch can be used, they can be connected to your Bluetooth earbuds, and you don't have to have your phone if you're going to go for a walk or for a run. This watch can actually store music inside, and you can store, I'd probably say, about 25 to 30 decent tracks, something like that, which is not a huge amount, but if you're going for a short run, that should be more than enough. So the other big thing to mention about this watch is the IP rating. I haven't come across anything like that so far. So obviously the manufacturer states that this watch have IP rating of IP68. And they specifically mention on their page that this watch can be used for swimming, so you can take them to a swimming pool with you, as well as they say you can take a hot shower as well as going to a sauna with this watch. I've never ever seen anyone actually stating anything like that. Normally they say you can take it for a swim, but don't take it to a warm shower or anywhere sort of hot, because the glue on the inside that holds most of the components together usually becomes soft and it starts to let water through. So they must have done something on the inside slightly different this time to allow for that kind of thing to happen. Inside of the watch you also find not one but actually 2 Bluetooth modules. One is 5.1, which is updated and it's 2020, so it's really good Bluetooth module, and the other one is 3.0. I'm not sure what that's used for. So you've got 2 Bluetooth modules on the board. The chip inside of this watch is called GR5515, whatever that means, but that's supposed to be like a premium chip. So for those of you who are into that, that's kind of information that you're going to get. Also on the page of the seller, you can find this watch in different colors, like silver, black, or it can be like rose gold sort of thing. So the body itself, you also can choose different straps, different colors, different variations. You can have them shipped with one strap or two straps. Also to mention, on the right side of the watch you've got two physical buttons. One button turns your watch on and off, and also brings you back from sub menu to main menu, and the bottom button obviously brings you back from sub menu to your main menu, as well as actually letting you in onto a menu with all the settings and all the notifications and so on. So let's dive deep into the menu itself, and I'll show you how it works. So by scrolling from top to the bottom, you've got quick access to your information. The thing to mention that this watch actually does have an option where you can toggle it, and the watch will inform you as soon as the Bluetooth connection breaks off with your phone. So they will let you know that the Bluetooth connection dropped off, and obviously you have to do something about it. So bring your phone closer or reconnect it and so on, which is it's a great feature. The other thing to mention, obviously you can control loads of things straight from your watch. You don't have to go to the app itself. You can do things like turn on and off your alarms. You can switch a night mode, disturb mode, and all those things. When you're going to be scrolling from left to right, it's like a serpentine menu, so it goes round and round. So if you scroll right, this is where you're going to be monitoring your pressure, blood pressure. This is your heartbeat, so it will monitor your heartbeat, and it does it pretty well. It's not the quickest, it's not the same speed as a Halo Solar, which does it almost instantly. It's a slightly slower sensor, but it does it really well. So every single time, and it will not actually measure heart rate if you put it on a table, or like some watches do when you hold it in the air. Obviously, this is where you can control and track your sleep monitoring. That's a fairly standard feature across most of the watches. I had this on my wrist today. That's how many steps I've done, and they are fairly accurate. I'd say probably 50 to 60 steps either way per day. It's not a bad result. I think it's fairly good. From scrolling from bottom to top, you go to your music options, and this is quite interesting. First of all, this is a quite a rich media player, because obviously you can play your tracks, you can scroll your tracks, you can also control the volume of the tracks played, and also if you press those three little buttons there, you get to choose where the music going to be coming from. So for instance, I can choose from phone, and that means that all of my controls now, so play, pause, rewind, and all those things, will be controlling music played on my phone. Whereas if I choose watch, that means that the music will be played from the watch itself, and you can transfer music from your laptop, from your computer, using your power cable. All you have to do is just connect it. Your computer will find it as a new drive, and you just throw some music in it. The only thing I would say is, if you know how to do it, download your MP3 files, and then just to download any like free software off the internet, which will allow you to slightly reduce the size of your tracks. So by reducing the quality of the tracks, but you'll be able to shove more music into this watch. And all you have to do then is you choose your watch, just there, and then you can pair your wireless earbuds to the watch itself, and voila, you're good to go. So you can play music, you can go for a run, you can leave your phone at home, Bob's your uncle, so you don't have to carry a massive phone with you at all the times. Great feature, and I think just this feature on its own really sort of pays for the price of the watch. So $35-40 US. I think it's really worth it. So what I'll do now is, just for the sake of it, I'll show you how the sound comes from. Obviously there's a little speaker just underneath there, so you can have a quick listen to how the sound comes from the watch itself, because you don't have to connect the earbuds. You can actually play the music through the watch itself. So you can control the volume. What I'll do now is I'll move my microphones closer so you can hear it better. was a fairly quiet track, but you get an idea. That's what you can expect from the watch itself. So the reason why the speaker is there and the reason why the microphone is there is because you actually can call people on this watch. And whilst out and about today, whilst we were doing some clothing shopping, my wife rang me up, and this watch connected to my phone automatically, and I was in the middle of the shop actually talking to my wife through the watch itself. And I must admit, the experience was something new, but it was acceptable. You could actually hear her in a loud environment, and she could hear me clearly. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be adding like the actual sound of the microphone and all those things, but just believe me on that one. It sounds okay. It sounds fine for what it is, and it's coming from a device like that. It sounds absolutely fine. Obviously, to make a phone call, you have to have your phone connected because this watch does not support SIM cards, so it cannot make phone calls on its own. But you know, that's what it is. Oh, now let's go to the main menu, and I'll walk you through some of the features. So to get to the main menu, all you have to do is press bottom button just like so. And we're going to start by taking a quick closer look about the sports mode. So when you press sports, first of all, the thing that I pretty like about the new outcoming sort of watches is that the sport regimes, they actually come in different categories. So things like running and walking, first of all, you see it outdoors, and then you can take measurement for the same exercise but indoors. Which I think is fantastic because that can vary quite dramatically, because obviously indoors it's a repetitive run and it doesn't change, whereas when you go to outdoors, obviously the terrain changes and you can run up and down, up and down. The temperature changes, your body experiences different temperatures and weather conditions, and you have to stop and run and stop and run and all those things. So this is quite handy, and I think all the watch should include indoor and outdoor exercise activities, and as you can see, that's all of those activities just there. Obviously you can check your step count. You can see how many calories you've burned, how many miles or kilometers you travel, how many steps you've done per day. That's quite useful. Like I said, you can track your sleep. Obviously heart rating, blood pressure monitoring. This is where you can call, and this is like a manual call. So for instance, if you know someone's number, you can just quickly dial their number, but that's not just going to happen quite often. But the other thing to do is to go to your contacts, and obviously you have to connect it to your phone. But I've done it yesterday, and what basically happens, it duplicates your phone book from your phone, and you get all your contacts, and all you have to do is you just press contacts, you scroll through, you find the person you want to dial, you press, and you can ring them just like so. So then you can go to call log. For instance, this is where I've rang my wife, and this is where I was trying to ring myself, and I tried several other phone numbers. So you can see it remembers quite a few numbers, and I believe that's quite handy. Right, now let's just have a look at the notifications, how they come through and what can you actually do with them. So for instance, I've got a notification just there. I can read it through. If it was longer, you can actually scroll it through, and if you press the delete option comes up, and you can delete the message. You also only get 3 messages stored at any given time, and they normally pop up on your screen. They stay there for 2 or 3 seconds, then they disappear, and they just get saved in this little menu just here. Obviously you can set your alarm, you can toggle it on and off. So for instance, 8 o'clock for me. Then you've got the usual stopwatch, nothing fancy there. Same with the countdown, so this is your timer. Really useful, and the thing that I love about the watches when they do that is you can set your timer. For instance, if you start cooking, you set your timer for whatever time you need to set, and then you can actually exit the menu, and the timer is going to keep on going without burning the battery, without actually, you've got your music control, you can find your phone, usual stuff. Female, so that's like a period for females. You can track it, you can do all sorts of things. The brightness, I haven't seen it for a long time. Usually it goes between like a 4, like a range of 4. This is where you can actually toggle all the way to 12, and the screen does get really bright. I haven't had a single issue using it in a day light, especially with the sunlight that we had today. The other thing you can control is the auto lock, but that's basically how soon your screen will turn itself off, and you can go all the way to 30 seconds. The thing that I liked about that is some people will appreciate it, some people will not, is actually you can change it by a second. So not your usual 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, but you can actually change it by a second. So a really great thing. Then straight from here, you can turn on and off certain things. So for instance, like a pulse rate monitoring set to auto, you can turn it on and off in the watch itself. You can turn on the disconnect alert, so when your Bluetooth gets disconnected, the watch will vibrate and it will let you know that the Bluetooth is disconnected, and all those sort of things which are usually controlled through the app only, you can control here as well. And finally, let me show you some of the watch faces. So this is the main watch face, and I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna scroll through, and you will get a better idea of how many watch faces there are and what sort of watch faces you will get. So this has to be my favorite watch face, and because it's very informative, it tells you absolutely everything. It tells you the date, how many steps you've done, what was your last measuring of your heart rate, and all those things. Unfortunately, there are only 6 watch faces. We come accustomed to that as well. They are not expendable, and I don't think they will be expendable, but 6 watch faces is something you can easily live with. Comparing to my Halo Solar, which only has 4 watch faces, you know, 6 is even better. And we're going to compare them together as well. You can see the difference in screens, the sizes, and all those things. And for today's video, let me just summarize it real quick. This watch, I'm sure, will be really popular amongst users, because when I first did my review of DT78, the video went viral and it exploded. And it is one of the most viewed videos that I've uploaded on YouTube to today's date. And they look exactly the same. There's something about this particular design. It's round, it's simple, it's clean, and for some reason people just absolutely in love with it. Compared to the DT78, this watch got so much more to offer. You've got microphone, you've got speaker, you can actually store music inside, which is, I think, is great idea. It's a great option, and I think all of the watches from now on should have it, because when you're going to do your physical activities, you don't have to bring your phone with you, which makes your life that much simpler. You know, the battery lasts a decent amount of time. It's not like they're going to be draining themselves out every single day, so you can expect a good 3 to 4, 5, maybe 5 working days, as long as you're not going to be talking on the phone, talking on the watch all the time. You're just going to be using them as a watch. They're going to measure your heart rate and things like that, so they're going to last for a long time. I just want to say a huge thank you to Mafam for sending this watch to me for for free. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like that. Really impressed with the watch, and I really highly recommend. And if you want to buy yourself this watch and you want to make sure that you buy a decent product, similar product to what actually came into my hands, and gonna last and gonna be, gonna be providing you with a good quality, make sure to follow the links down below. Literally, you're just going to be taken to the Mafam watch store, and I'm sure they're going to send you a decent product which you're going to be happy with. Obviously, with 11/11 approaching soon, make sure you be quick to place your orders, because this is going to make a fantastic Christmas present as well. And with all the COVID situation in the world, I'd probably do it earlier than later, because I know that, for instance, in the UK, Royal Mail is going to be struggling very soon because of the amount of parcels going to be stuck on the customs and all those things. So if you want to secure things like that, make sure you do it sooner than later. I hope this video has been helpful. Once again, huge thanks to Mafam for sending this watch to me. Make sure, if you've got any more questions, guys, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer your questions as soon as I can. And yeah, great watch for the great price. Not much more I can say about that. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.